From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Coming up, test scores in Montana failing to make the grade.
Students did miss something, trying to do so much on their own.
Plus a makeover for one historic local restaurant.
We like to think of it as kind of an eclectic worldly menu, Mediterranean spirit.
And details on an effort to restore a Billings battlefield to its former glory. And good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Wednesday, September 14th. Thank you so much for watching with us. So happening in just hours, the two men accused of breaking out of the jail on Sunday are going to appear in court. It comes as brand new details begin shedding light on how they pulled off the escape. Documents show Cody Flesh and Quincy Pfister left through the cell that they shared, managing to remove a window frame, leaving behind glass, debris, and damaged brick. Now bail is currently set at $1.5 million for Flesh, $2 million for Pfister, who has tried to escape a total of 5 times before. We'll keep you posted on what happens in court, but first, we've got our Miller Robson here, and he has got something good to say about the weather.
Absolutely. Before we get into that, we mentioned earlier it's National Cream-Filled Donut Day, and you asked folks to hit me up because you like cream-filled, the cream. I like the jelly or the glazed.
Yes.
And Tina says she likes both.
Oh, good.
She goes with both. Renaissance woman there. And Sheila, though, Sheila went the apple fritter away.
Oh, that's a good one too, though.
Oh, good stuff there.
That one's a good one too.
Brett. Okay. So
yeah, those are pretty good.
She has got our floor director's stamp of approval. Sheila, you're good as gold.
I think she does. She's got us all in agreement this morning.
That's good
well
stuff
done.
there. All right, let us know what you like. Cream-filled, glazed. Are you a simple person or are you all poofy like Andrea over here with all the fancy? She was even talking about this espresso machine this morning.
I was talking about that, yeah. I'm pretty fancy over here.
All right. Just give me a Mountain Dew and a glazed donut and I'm happy. Live shot there at the airport. Let's crunch some numbers. Yesterday we got up to 84. We may not see the 80s again for a little while here in Billings as we've got this cooler air coming in. Our overnight low got down to 54. Top gust yesterday at the airport near 20. Of course, no measurable rain, I should say. We did have a little bit of rain overnight here in Billings, and we could see some more showers around lunchtime today. How are we doing for the month? We're still on the drier side, but for the year, we're pacing okay. And we do see a lot of rain out there surrounding the Q2 viewing area, and we're going to see on and off showers all the way through the early part of next week as we're in this unstable pattern. We'll tell you about that, and we'll tell you about the smoke. When's it finally going away? We'll tell you about that coming up here in just a minute.
So a little bit of that still lingering.
Just a little bit this morning, yeah.
Okay, but also not as bad as the western side of the state. We've been seeing that.
It's brutal over there.
It's brutal over there.
It's really thick, yeah.
Oh man, okay. All right, Miller, thanks so much. All right, we are looking at some concerning statistics this morning showing Billings students are still struggling to match post-pandemic test scores. Just 34% of 3rd through 8th graders are proficient in math. That's down 7% from 2019. This disparity in English isn't quite as serious, though, nearly 3% of a difference. And experts say parents need to step up, ask their kids about their schoolwork, and continue reading at home.
That's one of our biggest complaints that we see from the parents when they come in. Now they're just not interested in doing it because they feel ill-confident enough to get back into those norms.
Statewide tutors say that they're noticing a trend of middle and high schoolers in need of math help, while many younger kids are finding challenges in English. All right, district leaders in Park City are pleading with residents to fund a new school. They say facilities are just too small, and now they're asking for a bond for the 4th time. As Q2's Haley Monaco reports, this latest proposal is a scaled-down version of the most recent failed plan.
Space is hard to find here at the Park City School. Some classes are now held in closets, others in these 3 modular buildings.
When you cram them into these smaller size rooms or into the modulars, there are issues that are going to develop.
The Park City School District has been asking voters for a new school for more than 20 years. One issue with these modular buildings, according to the district, is safety. The modular for 7th and 8th grade classes is across the street from the school and does not have any water.
So they're back and forth in between buildings.
That's just one reason Superintendent Dan Grabowska says this new bond must pass.
Our district needs these things. We need the school, we need the space.
The new proposed bond is for $14.4 million, a roughly 20% decrease from the $16.7 million bond that failed in May. Many things were cut from the previous proposal.
The gym went from 900 seats down to closer to 600. cut out some of the locker rooms, so we won't be able to run tournaments in there.
Park City is set to transition to a Class B school next year. A proposed music room, kitchen, and egg program have also been modified. But even so, some say now is not the time for the district to be asking for a new school. State Senator David Howard sent this letter to voters asking Park City residents to vote no, saying, quote, "The school board needs to rethink this and do the minimum needed to keep our schools in good shape over the next few years until inflation and taxes are under control."
Doing the minimum for the kids is just not something that's in my blood. I don't understand that.
If the bond passes, it will cost the owners of a $200,000 home $463 a year for the next 30 years.
We still know it's expensive. We understand that.
But those in support say it's worth it, a long-term solution to help kids in this community.
Everyone needs to be on the same page because the people writing those pages now are our kids.
In Park City, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
New this morning, a procession will take Queen Elizabeth's coffin from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall today, and then she will lie in state for 4 days ahead of the funeral on Monday. The Queen's 4 children, including King Charles and her grandsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, will walk behind the coffin. And we'll have live coverage at 7. That's directly following Montana This Morning. Happening this morning, a potential rail union strike could impact Montana. Amtrak canceled 3 routes this week, including the Empire Builder. That runs through the northern part of Montana and stops in Whitefish. It's in hopes of avoiding a rail strike, and Labor Secretary Marty Walsh is meeting with carriers and unions today. If the two sides can't come to an agreement, a full stoppage could begin late Friday. New this morning, Ukraine's president says his army has regained more than 3,000 square miles of territory previously held by Russia. And as reporter Sasha Ingberg tells us, the United States is a big reason the counteroffensive is going so well.
U.S. intelligence has played a significant role in Ukraine's once quiet but now widely praised counteroffensive, a member of Ukraine's security service tells Newsy. The source believes that Ukrainians first struck bridges in the southern region of Kherson, where Russian troops amassed, so that Ukraine could hinder them from resupplying or crossing the Dnipro River to travel north to the Kharkiv region as a major counterattack started.
They were running like mice. They were running and abandoning everything, vehicles, their own men. They even shot one of their own who was wounded just to get away.
2 former senior U.S. intelligence officials tell Newsy that intelligence sharing remains robust and includes insight into the locations of Russian units. The U.S. has provided intelligence that helped Ukraine kill Russian generals and sink the prized Russian warship, the Moskva.
Before Ukrainians sank the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, the U.S. shared intelligence with Ukraine on its location.
Officials in the Biden administration don't want to discuss specific intelligence assessments for fear they could jeopardize Ukrainian security or military operations. A senior U.S. defense official said this week that the U.S. provided information on conditions, but the Ukrainian military and political leadership decided how to conduct the counteroffensive. Ukraine's lightning advance has had a major impact in Moscow. Vladimir Putin's spokesperson says a mobilization to replace lost and exhausted troops is not on the agenda, and the Russian president is aware of all developments.
The president is in constant contact, we can say 24-hour contact, with the defense minister and all the chiefs. It can't be any other way during the special military operation. The special military operation is ongoing and will continue until it reaches all of its goals.
Jeffrey Edmonds, the former Russia director on the White House's National Security Council, tells Newsy that Putin's position weakens the longer that Russia experiences losses. And the more he loses and knows he's losing, the higher the risk he will escalate in some way.
He does not know what to do, and he will strike here even more, just on infrastructure. He will strike so we don't have water, electricity, to create more chaos and intimidate us. But he will not succeed, because we will survive, and Putin will soon croak.
With Ukraine's swift military gains, some 6,000 square kilometers, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky, come honors for his military intelligence officers.
Your operations are not usually written about in the news, but they will definitely be written about in military science textbooks. Your successes are often quiet and imperceptible to our people, but always painful and tangible to our enemy.
According to British intelligence, Russian forces that hastily retreated from the northern Kharkiv region were from one of Russia's most prestigious armies, meant to defend Moscow and lead potential counterattacks in the event of war with NATO. It will likely take years for Russia to rebuild that capability.
All right, coming later this fall, a local campaign honoring veterans is extending to another road. The west side of Highway 72 will soon be covered in dog tags thanks to FFA students at Bridger and Belfry. There are already thousands of signs on Highway 212, and with the addition of the new road, students are asking to name the highways the Carbon County Veterans Memorial Loop. All of the dog tags will be up by Veterans Day. A Billings organization is working to preserve a local battlefield. 5 U.S. soldiers, 2 Nez Perce tribal members, lost their lives during the Battle of Canyon Creek west of town. Until recently, the memorial site was covered in trash, but Friends of Canyon Creek was formed and they cleaned it up. Today it looks a lot better. Now the crew is looking for funding to maintain it weekly like other historic sites. After being closed for remodeling since the start of this year, there's a landmark Billings restaurant back open and serving customers. The Granary on Poly Drive. It cut its ribbon yesterday during its grand opening, and the restaurant has new owners and a brand new menu focusing on seafood. The remodel gives the restaurant a more open feel, and a new bar and reclaimed wood is in that lounge area. That looks so good, that food does. All right, still ahead on this Wednesday morning, more news. Thousands of Californians are under evacuation under this. Look at that mud coming down. This is after heavy rains caused those fast-moving mudslides. We have that incredible video that we're going to show you more. It's coming up after the break. But first, it's 62 degrees. 6:11 is the time, and you are watching Billings' only local morning newscast.